Ne, anaratachi wa sorega TsubakiSwagg. I can say it quickly now. Alright, hey you guys, it is TsubakiSwagg, and I'm coming to you with a review of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. I am so far behind. So, like, it's ridiculous how far behind I am on this story, but I think I read this book in like 24 hours, and I read the second book in like maybe 2 days, and I'm working on the third book right now, but I am focusing mainly on this one for this video because I did say that I was going to start reviewing books now too, because I really don't have a whole lot of time, considering that I work so much now, to sit down and do a review every day like I was doing for several animes at a time. And those videos also weren't getting a whole lot of views anyways. I usually get more views on my pictures or like predictions, stuff like that. So I think I'm just gonna start doing like overall reviews of shows that I watch, and overall impressions, all that good stuff. Like, I'm watching Assassination Classroom, which somebody suggested that I should watch a while back, so I am watching that now. I'm going to be catching up to a few that came out. I'm going to be catching up to some mangas, like I'm catching up to Prison School. I believe I'm going to catch up to Hilder, which I haven't done a review for in a really long time. I'm going to catch up to Maggie, Tokyo Ghoul, all that good stuff. Anyways, right now we're talking about Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. And I have to say, I was so fucking upset. Like, I'll link the quiz that I took down below, but there's a quiz that you can take to find out which house you would be in. And I'm not a Gryffindor. I'm not a Gryffindor. Like, I was so sure that I was going to be a Gryffindor. Like, I knew in my heart of hearts that I was going to be a fucking Gryffindor. And do you know what I got? I was chosen to be a Hufflepuff. A Hufflepuff. A Hufflepuff. Hufflepuff. Which, I mean, I have nothing against Hufflepuffs, but I was so fucking sure that I was going to be a Gryffindor, and I'm a Hufflepuff. My heart aches for the thought of not being a Gryffindor. And you know, I was so positive that there was something wrong with that test that I took it again. And you know what I got? Do you know what I got? I was a fucking Slytherin. A Slytherin. A Slytherin! Of all things, I was a fucking Slytherin. I'm disgusted with myself. Like, not everybody in the Slytherin house is evil, but the Slytherin house has produced the most dark wizards out of every house. Like, literally every house has produced the most dark wizards. And Snipe's in that house, and he irritates the shit out of me. Malfoy is in that house, and he irritates the ever-loving shit out of me. So just the thought of being picked to be a Slytherin made me angry. Just saying. I mean, I'm just saying. Just saying. So, this book was fucking amazing. Like, I really wish that I would have picked up on reading these books when they first came out, because I remember when they came out, but at that time I wasn't allowed to read them because of my family and the church that we went to. We were told that these books were evil and we weren't allowed to read them and all that good stuff. So I never thought about reading them after the point that I was old enough to be able to decide on my own. And I just happened to actually find this book in Goodwill. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to pick this up and I'm going to read it. And once I read it, I was hooked. Harry Potter is an amazing series. J.K. Rowling is revolutionary. Her writing style is glorious. And I've always loved reading books. Like, usually whenever I read a book, it's really not like I'm reading. It's more like me watching a movie. Especially if the person who is writing is a very graphic writer and describes everything with great detail. It makes reading so much more fun for me. And that's how I felt reading this book. And just like the parts like describing Dudley, or the way she described the way Hagrid looks, or describing how Harry was feeling when he flew on a broom for the first time, and all that good stuff was just, it's fucking amazing. J.K. Rowling is probably one of my favorite authors now. She might take the place of James Patterson, which is a stretch considering that I love every book of James Patterson that I've ever read. But this book is freaking amazing. And I loved just seeing how she described everything. And like, this literally made, like, reading this book literally made me hate the Dursleys, which I know that they're supposed to be hated because they're just so fucking evil, but just reading this book made me hate them even more. And I wish that I could, like, kick all of them in the shin and punch him in the face because they treated Harry so fucking badly for something that he has absolutely no control over. And it's just, I don't understand how anyone can be that cruel to someone who is blood related to them. But I mean, they're just fucking assholes. They are assholes, and they deserve everything that they will and have gotten coming from Harry. Like, Harry sicking the snake on him, but right before he went away to Hogwarts. And it made me so fucking happy that Harry was able to get out of that house and be able to just get away from them. At least, even though it's not completely get away from them, he was able to at least be away from them for a year, so that way he doesn't have to deal with their fuckery, because they are fucking ridiculous. And I love Hagrid. Hagrid, he is awesome. Like, Hagrid is like the uncle that everybody wants because he is freaking awesome. And I'm just so happy that he came and rescued Harry. And like, there are so many twists and turns in this book. Like, I was sure that it was Snape that was the person who had been cursing Harry and all this kind of stuff. But it wasn't even him. This book just made me so freaking happy. And Voldemort is a ruthless motherfucker, and I think it's pretty awesome that Harry was able to thwart him and make Voldemort the blubbering mess that he is, because Voldemort can go rot in hell for all I care. And so I can't even remember what the other guy's name is. His name isn't even worth remembering, the one that had Voldemort's head on the back of his face. And you know, if you think about it, there was a part when the teacher, whatever his name is, was walking away and he had like the turban wrapped around his head or whatever, and Fred and George were throwing snowballs at the back of his head. And just if you think about it that way, they were throwing snowballs at Voldemort's face, because they are fucking badasses. But Fred and George, they are hilarious. They made life in the Gryffindor house funny. And I love Hermione. And I love Harry. I love Hedwig. I would love to have an owl. If I ever do finally get a pet owl and it's a girl, I would probably name her Hedwig. I mean, I did get a 2DS for Christmas, and I got Pokemon Sun, and I did choose the Rowlet as my starter Pokemon, and I named her Hedwig because it was a female, and I was fucking excited. So my Dartrix now is named Hedwig. If you guys want to add me on there, if any of you guys have Pokemon Sun or Moon, you can add me. My name is TsubakiSwagg, like it is on here. I think it is TsubakiSwagg. If not, it's just Tsubaki. Well, I'm almost positive it is TsubakiSwagg. Y'all can add me. I'm not quite sure how it works with adding anyone on there, but you can add me and maybe we can trade some Pokemon. But just this whole the whole story just makes me happy. Like I never quite understood how amazing this story is. And it's just like seeing how Harry interacts with all these people that he never knew, or never even knew that this world existed, and never quite understood why he could do some of the things that he could do, or never quite understood why his uncle, aunt, and cousin were just so absolutely atrocious to him. And seeing him be able to get away from that makes me happy. And I fucking loved these books. This first book was freaking amazing. And it was awesome the way that Harry was able to thwart Voldemort again for a second time, and this time he was actually conscious of doing it, which is pretty fucking awesome. And I love this book. But I don't want to say too much for anybody else who hasn't actually read the book, but the book was freaking amazing. I loved it. And I can't wait to finish the series. I am going to continue to do like mini reviews of all of the books. Like I said, I'm on the third one now, so I'll do a review of the second one, and then I'll do a review of the rest of them as I go along. But if there are any books or anything that you guys would like me to read and do a review for, just let me know, and I will get on that, because I'm always down for reading new books. But I think that is pretty much it. I would love to hear how you guys feel about the Harry Potter series as a whole. Please, no spoilers for, like I said, anybody like me who hasn't read the whole series. But I would love to hear how you guys felt about this book. What was your favorite part? Who's your favorite character? Who is your favorite villain? If you were to go to Hogwarts, what house would you be in? I would love to hear who would be like a Gryffindor, Slytherin, a Hufflepuff, or a Ravenclaw. I would love to know. Just comment down below so we can all have a little discussion about that. Like I said, I will link the site down below that I took the Sorting Hat quiz on, so you can see which house you're in if you're not absolutely sure which one you would want to be in. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So as always, please remember to comment, thumbs up, and subscribe. It helps me out a whole lot. And this is TsubakiSwagg saying Jana.